Eagle 6 in the track.
Roger.
Viper 1 bombs away. One's going to climb high above 20. You're south.
Eagle 6 radar contact. Eagle 6 is visual.
And it goes left.
Welcome back to the DCS SITREP, where we discuss news and information about the world's premier combat flight simulator for the home PC, DCS World. I'm your host, Prickly Hedgehog, and today, and perhaps as no surprise, Eagle Dynamics' latest newsletter was focused on the release of one of the more anticipated and asked for aircraft, Heat Blur Simulations' F4E Phantom 2, which was revealed this past weekend, and is now available in the eShop and on Heat Blur's own eStore. In my last video, I discussed why I think this aircraft could be one of the more important modules in DCS to date, not because it is actually better than other aircraft in game, and certainly as lined up against the other F-designated aircraft we already have, such as the F-16, the F-15, the F-18, and even the F-14, but because some of the features, that Heat Blur is introducing as part of the modules package. Some of these features will be mentioned below, so stick around, let's talk about some of those, because ED spent some time letting us know about the module's capabilities, which will be part of early access and post-early access. So let's take a look at what they're describing as key features for the Phantom. We will have the simulation of both the DSCG and the DMAS, or Digital Modular Avionics System, equipped E-variants. The DMAS version apparently will follow later during the early access period. No idea how long it will be in early access or what that period will be, so stay tuned. Highly detailed external model that is built using laser scanning and photogrammetry taken from real F4 Phantoms across the globe. New weapon models for some of the F4 Phantom's payloads, such as the AGM-45 Shrike, the AGM-12 Bullpup, the AGM-62 Walleye, and the AN-AVQ-23 Pave Spike Targeting Pod. There will be a highly detailed and accurate 6 degrees of freedom cockpit that is also built using photogrammetry from the various F4 Phantoms that are preserved at museums around the world, including Heat Blur Forge elements to be added later during early access. Highly detailed and accurate pilot and Wizzo models that will eventually match the many liveries and different nations. Later during early access, they say a full character customization system will allow you to customize your pilot and pick and match various equipment to stylize your crew. A really cool feature that we haven't really seen before in DCS World. Now, they're using actual performance data to create a highly realistic external flight model, or EFM. They are delivering accurate aircraft systems simulation featuring the following things. This is some interesting stuff here. So we have the Automated Flight Control System, or AFCS or AFCS, a detailed electrical system that accurately simulates sources, current, and consumption. It also is going to include realistic circuit routing by the sounds of things and power draw for every connected device, which is a really interesting touch. Detailed hydraulic system that simulates the flow of hydraulic liquid. This ultimately moves the hydraulics, which in turn move the various flight surfaces, etc. Curious to see how that works in game, whether it'll be affected by G and other violent maneuvers, so on and so forth. Kind of a cool thing. Detailed and accurate oil and fuel system for the engines, again, another interesting feature. And here we are here, mass-based physics system, which will allow for unprecedented simulation of moving surfaces with realistic behavior according to their mass and properties. Now, that's a really interesting thing, because sometimes I feel in game, depending on the aircraft, it's a difficult thing to do to recreate mass and inertia and stuff like that. And some real pilots have talked about that it's hard to get that feel. It's the stuff that you get from the seat of your pants in a real aircraft. Very difficult to recreate in a game, especially when you're looking through a 2D screen. So I'm very, very curious to see what this does in terms of your feel for the aircraft, and again, how it handles, how it performs, what it does in game, as you manipulate the aircraft or push it in a way that perhaps you're flying outside of those envelopes, which is a discussion that comes up quite a lot, and we'll leave it there, but very, very interesting concept. Fully functional multi-crew that allows a 2-seat functionality in multiplayer. This allows a player as pilot to team up with another player as the weapon system officer, the Wizzo. This is a challenging thing to do, and a lot of the 2-player aircraft like this, the developers have talked about the challenges associated with syncing that up and making it work in multiplayer too. So really cool. We discussed this a little bit in my last video as well. Jester AI, this is going to be 2.0 Jester, Heatblur's new and improved lifelike AI that fills the role of the real Wizzo when flying in single player, or in fact multiplayer too, without a human Wizzo present. Jester AI 2.0 expands functionality, dialogue options, and more. So again, looking forward to seeing how they've improved that. We discussed in the last video also that they've made some changes to the visual wheel and the interactive interface for that as well. So we have a simulated crew chief for a more immersive and complete startup procedure. Yes, love it. I hope we see more of that in game for the other aircraft too. Edie, I hope you're listening to that. I know it's been talked about. That is something that I really am looking forward to seeing. Later during early access, a brand new walk-around mode will allow you to do pre-flight checks on your aircraft. And this is another thing that's been asked for previously. So another little introduction of some immersion and a really neat feature. So again, looking forward to seeing that. A new versatile set of UI features that allows for live in-cockpit viewing of the manual and ability to interact with the various settings and options pertaining to your missions and flight. This feature will be continually expanded during early access. Again, really, really cool feature. Brilliant little stroke of genius there. And remember too, it is interactive for those of you that use VR, which again, I think is a massive help to people. It's a small thing. It sounds like a small thing, but such a neat idea. And again, I really was enamored with that, as you can tell. Introducing, we have Heatblur interactive tooltips that provide the ability to click on a switch and be taken directly to the relevant manual part without ever leaving your cockpit. Again, just brilliant there. New and improved effects, like, this is something that I noticed in the last video that they produced, or the release video at least, overwing vapors, new procedural animation systems, and more. Don't know about that procedural animation. Curious to see what that is. I don't know if that's related to the vapors and stuff, but really, really cool. I did notice quite a lot of effort in that area to create that realism. Neat stuff. Detailed and highly accurate simulations of the AN APQ-120 radar and ALR-46, RWR. I think that was one that they sort of rebuilt and rejigged to make sure that it was functioning in a more realistic way. So I'm curious to see how that functions. A highly detailed simulation of the AN AVQ-23 pave spike targeting pod that allows the Wizzo to guide laser-guided munitions dropped by the pilot or other aircraft. So buddy lasing, as we know. Comprehensive digital manual, both as a PDF and as a continually updated online manual. It is directly accessible from within the cockpit at any time via interactive tool tips and or the eBag. Complete set of interactive and voice tutorials. Neat. I know a lot of you have asked about that kind of stuff, wanting more tutorials, wanting more players are asking for help in how to fly, and either a specific aircraft or just in general, so cool. A comprehensive set of missions and campaigns to be gradually released during early access and beyond. Very exciting there. Lots of stuff. Now, they do say that some features may not be immediately available. The later F4E Demas, which we mentioned, equipped variant, for example, and this will include the pave track and the TISEO, which I'm not sure what that is. Is that a targeting pod? Anyway, I'm not sure. It will follow during the early access period, and the tutorial campaigns will be implemented and expanded as well. So that's to be expected, but we will get, of course, quite a lot of features to start with, and no doubt once the community's had feedback and or provided feedback to Heatblur, we will see possibly some bugs crop up here and there and some fixes, the usual kinds of things when a new module is introduced. But overall, this is very, very exciting stuff. Let me know if you agree in the comment section below. And I know not everybody's excited about the Phantom. There were some really good and poignant comments that came out in the last videos, and I really appreciate the feedback. And I did make a mistake. There was a correction here. Somebody did point out to me. I mentioned that the Tomcat was a Gen 3 aircraft. It really isn't. I tried to cover it up by saying it was a 3.5, which isn't really correct. It is a Gen 4. It's an early Gen 4 aircraft, and I apologize for that error. Thank you for pointing that out to me.
5 o'clock low. 360. 12 o'clock low. Speed 330. 142, knock it off. That's a 3, knock it off.
Well, there's no question this is a fan favorite aircraft. It's an iconic Cold War aircraft and flew with many air forces around the world. It started out as a naval jet for the American Navy and then was picked up by the Marines and also the American Air Force. So quite a versatile aircraft, like I said, in the air-to-air and air-to-ground role, especially when you fit it with things like laser-guided bombs. Now it becomes a pretty decent platform. In this iteration for in-game, it's going to be powered by the General Electric J79 turbofan engines. These generate an impressive dry thrust of almost 24,000 pounds, and a maximum afterburner thrust of 37,000 pounds of thrust. We have, as mentioned, the AN APQ 120 radar. It is also fitted with a digital scan converter group, the Weapons Release Computer Set, or WRCS, the Aircraft Weapons Release Unit, AWRU, and an altitude referencing and bombing computer set, the ARBCS. The DSCG version of the F4E also comes with an AN AVQ-23 PAVE spike targeting pod. I believe that is coming later, allowing for precision strikes and the self-employment of laser-guided ammunition. It can also carry AGM-65 Mavericks and a wide array of ion bombs, as well as TV and laser-guided bombs, sort of making it a pretty decent modern platform considering its age. And you'll also recall that it's going to have the ability to carry wild weasel strikes and a limited capacity with the AGM-45 strike missile. Now, you may have noticed too that unlike previous variants of the Phantoms, the E comes equipped with an M61 Vulcan cannon, which most of us should be familiar with by now. It is also capable of air-to-air and air-to-ground roles. It does have an optical sight that allows for lead computing optical sighting, also known as LCOS, and air-to-air, as well as the ability to carry additional Vulcan cannon pods. The aircraft can and is capable of carrying an AN ALQ-131 ECM pod, KY-28 encryption equipment, and employs a range of early to modern era AIM-9 Sidewinder and AIM-7 Sparrow missiles for aerial combat that can also be used through the additional specialized caged and computer automatic acquisition modes. So ED reminded us that this is the culmination for Heatblur of several years of research, coding, and modeling to create this iconic aircraft as a high-fidelity module for the DCS world environment. And as we also mentioned too, the team used a lot of laser scanning and photogrammetry to really create a realistic depiction. And they have also worked very hard on the external flight model, which has been verified by former F4 pilots and Wizzos to again create what could be a really, really exciting, and I hope will be a really exciting aircraft for 1 to 2 people. And if you don't have a friend to fly with you, you can always rely on good old Jester 2.0, which again, I'm looking forward to seeing implemented in the game and what that looks like compared to Jester 1. Well, that brings us pretty much to the end of this week's DCS SITREP. Little spot of news from Magnitude3. They said that they have some news coming soon, and they posted a picture of the Corsair. A little bit cryptic. Hopefully it's good news. I'm sure it will be. I know a lot of you are looking forward to this also iconic aircraft of the World War II era. We have quite a few World War II aircraft in the wings waiting to be pushed out of their virtual hangars. So stay tuned. I'll let you know as soon as I hear more information from them. I did reach out to them a few weeks ago, actually. and hopefully we'll get more information from them as the weeks unfold here. So stay tuned. We've got a lot of things going on. We've got the end of the year coming, so I probably will do a year in review, because we've had some pretty interesting things happen this year with regards to the core engine, the Striegel, the Phantom now, and we've got other aircraft too that are close, as I said, to being pushed out of their virtual hangars into the hangars of the community to fly and test out. I was talking to some developers this morning on some map stuff, it's always good to catch up. So we have some news coming about that in the near future, which I think you're really going to be excited about, so stay tuned to that. And I think that pretty much does it, except, there was something else. Oh yeah, we're going to do a giveaway again. So I don't know how many giveaways I'm going to do, but I am going to offer another giveaway here for those of you who are interested in picking up a Phantom 2 from Heatblur. We're going to do a giveaway there. All you need to do is post in the comment section below, #DCS World. You have to be a subscriber. Let me know why you want the Phantom, and a random winner will be selected from that comment section. So again, appreciate all the support, appreciate the comments, the likes, the sharing. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you can stay tuned for more news and information on DCS World with the SITREP. This is Brickley Hedgehog out. We'll see you next time. See ya.